Guys, today is an exciting day because The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out. If you haven't caught up with The Last of Us Part 1, this is your chance. Let's go! We start with an intimate father-daughter moment when Sarah, Joel's daughter, gives him a wristwatch for his birthday. Joel asks her how she got the money, to which she replies,
"Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs."
Later that night when Sarah was sleeping, they get a phone call from Sarah's uncle, Tommy, and that's when things go haywire.
"Honey, I need to get your daddy on the phone."
Sarah finds her way to Joel and he starts loading the gun because their neighbors are acting crazy.
They're sick.
Kinda sick.
And then we encounter our first case of the cordyceps fungus. Joel and Sarah make their way out of the house and meet Uncle Tommy. Together, they will look for safety. While making their way through the city, their car gets T-boned, but luckily everybody survives. They move out of the vehicle and make their way on foot. While running for safety, you see how chaotic the city has become. The infected are swarming the city and no one has any idea of what is happening. Joel and Sarah gets chased by the infected, but a military guy shoots them dead. The dude doesn't know how to react to Joel and Sarah's situation and asks for advice from his commanding officer. To which he replied,
Yes, sir.
asshole. Uncle Tommy makes his way to them and shoots the guy dead. Joel survives, but Sarah is a different story. Hands down one of the most emotional scenes in the history of games.
Move your hands, babe. I know, baby, I know.
Man, that's rough. 20 years later, we see Joel as a smuggler. He's joined in with his partner in crime / girlfriend Tess. Tess tells Joel that two guys of Robert's jumped her. Now Robert is an arms dealer who owed guns to Tess and Joel. Both Joel and Tess go out looking for Robert. They finally get to Robert and he confesses that he sold the guns to a rebel group called the Fireflies. And Tess doesn't let him live. While Joel and Tess were thinking about how to get the arms back from the Fireflies, the leader of the Fireflies, Marlene, joins in. She's not in the best of shape as she had been wounded fighting against the military. Marlene tells if they want the guns, they have to do something for her, so they cut a deal. After dodging several military patrols, they finally arrive at their safe house. They get to know that if they want their guns back, they have to smuggle this kid to a Firefly hideout. To which they agree. The girl's name is Ellie and they start their expedition outside the city. While on their way to the Capitol building, they get stopped by the military. And all of them were tested for infection. When it was Ellie's turn, Ellie freaks out and stabs the guy on the leg. And all hell breaks loose. After killing the military guys, Tess checks the device which says Ellie is infected. Ellie said that although she is infected, the bite was 3 weeks old and she is immune to the infection. The Fireflies are smuggling her with the expectation of finding a cure from her immunity. They kept pushing to the Capitol building, but on their way they make the infected of different stages. Stage 1 is runners, the weakest stage of the infected who have just recently entered their transformation. In stage 2 we have stalkers. By now the fungus has grown significantly on the head and part of the face, only one eye is open. And stage 3 is clickers. Throughout the time the fungus has grown all over the head and they are completely blind, they find their way through echolocation and they have gained superhuman strength. And in stage 4 we have the bloaters, which is the rarest and the most dangerous stage of the infection. They take years to develop and they are completely covered in fungus and it effectively acts as an armor. They finally get to the Capitol building just to learn that there are no Fireflies waiting for them. In the process, Joe suffers another loss as Tess gets bitten, but Tess understands the importance of Ellie. So Tess insists Joel to take Ellie to Tommy, Joel's brother who happens to be a former Firefly, with the expectation of learning their location. Tess offers herself to buy them some time to escape when the military arrive at the location. And of course, she dies defending Joel and Ellie. After fighting through infected and humans, they finally make it to Tommy's place. Tommy welcomes them to their community and Joel tells the whole story to Tommy.
She's immune.
Joel asks Tommy to take her to the Fireflies, but after overhearing a conversation between Tommy and Tommy's wife Maria, Ellie realizes that Joel is trying to abandon her and she runs away.
She took one of our horses and rode off.
Damn it. Which way?
Joel and Tommy go after her and find her at a nearby ranch. Ellie was pissed that Joel was trying to get rid of her, and they share a very emotional moment.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you.
Man, the frustration is real. Joe decides to take Ellie to the Fireflies himself. Tommy tells them about a Firefly lab in the University of Eastern Colorado, and that's where they head next. They reach there on horseback, but in a veil because there are no Fireflies there as well. They learn that an infected monkey has bitten a scientist and the whole lab was infected, and they kept searching for clues on where to go next.
They're looking for the Fireflies. They've all left.
Yeah, no shit.
They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City.
And that's where they're headed next. After killing the infected, humans, and more infected, they finally reach Salt Lake City. Joel meets Marlene again, who actually had crossed the country with her crew, and Joel learns that Ellie has to go through a surgery. Since the fungus grows all over the brain, if they go through with the surgery, Ellie will die. Now Marlene is a good friend of Ellie's mother, but she's ready to sacrifice her for the greater good. But by now, Joel has gotten so close to Ellie that he's not on board with it.
There is no other choice here.
By now, Joel would do anything to protect Ellie, and he fights back to save Ellie's life. Joel reaches the surgery room, kills all the surgeons, and grabs Ellie and run away from there.
Oh, shit.
While on his way down, he meets Marlene, who asks him to give up.
You can't save her.
Joel shoots at her. Joel takes another shot at her and finishes her off because
You just come after her.
Joel decides to go back to his brother's place. On the way, Ellie wakes up and asks what happened. Joel actually tells a lie to Ellie and says there are dozens out there that are immune to the infection and that Fireflies are testing on them.
There's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually.
After reaching Jackson, Ellie talks about the day that she was bitten. Ellie says that she was not alone, that her best friend Riley was there and they both got bitten. Ellie remembers something she said before she died.
She says, let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together.
Ellie asks Joel to swear that everything that he told about the Fireflies were true, to which he replies,
I swear.
and the credits roll. Alright guys, of course I left out some of the side plots that were not important for the second part, but I hope you're all caught up now. The first part was a beautiful display of selfish love, affection and care, and I really believe that something amazing is on the way with the second part. Alright guys, I will see you next time with a gameplay video of The Last of Us Part 2. Peace out.